Hello beautiful people, let's make this finger licking Nsala soup. Nothing beats this Anambra Nsala soup. Here I'll be using goat meat and fresh chicken. This is the male goat, it cooks faster than the female goat, and this is the hard chicken, so they both have the same cooking time. That's why I'm cooking both of them at the same time. I added in the seasoning and the salt, and we're going to mix all this in to combine into the meat. And we'll cover this without adding water, and we'll cook this for about 10 minutes. It's going to generate its own fluid. And while we wait for that, and here is the fresh catfish we'll be using for this Nsala soup. Let me show you how to wash this catfish to get off the slime. Now I added in salt and I brought in hot water. So this is not steaming hot water because it's going to peel off the fish. We'll add it in to top the fish, and gently I'm going to use this to scrape off all the slime from the fish. This will also help to harden the fish when you add it into the soup so it doesn't break up easily. And we'll rinse it off with cold water and we'll set it aside. Let's get back to the meat. Here it has generated its own fluid, and I added in a little water to top it up, and we're going to mix all this in also. Now I brought in the peeled yam. This yam will serve as the thickener for this soup. I brought it in and we'll cover this. We'll cook it for about 5 minutes. And while at that, here I have the peppers, ehoro seed. I also have oda. I have ogli, obei, and crayfish. I'm going to break off this oda seed because it's very hard, but my blender can crush it. If not, you'll have to use your mortar to pound this. Usually I use my mortar, but today I decided to use my blender. Added in a little water to be able to blend this, and we'll blend this till it's very smooth. And this is how it looks like. And we'll also set this aside. We are multitasking at this time so that when it comes to the cooking proper, we'll just be mixing and mixing. And back to the yam. I'm going to bring this out and I'll use my blender also to blend this. I have other Nsala soup videos where I use the mortar, but today I want to also show you that you can use your blender to blend the yam. Now I added in water and we're also going to blend this till it's very smooth. We'll also set this aside and back to the meat. Now I brought in all the blended ingredients, seasoning cubes and salt. We are seasoning the soup at this point. Remember, the initial seasoning was for the meat, and we'll stir this in to also combine properly. And I brought in the yam. We got this to a smooth paste. This will be the thickener for our soup. I'll add it in and we'll mix all this. We'll mix the yam to blend into the soup. So what you'll notice is that once you add in the yam, you have to stir this occasionally because it's going to start burning underneath. So I'll cover this and stir it occasionally from time to time so that it doesn't burn underneath. We'll wait for it to melt completely into the soup to become the paste. As you can see, mine isn't too thick and it's not watery as well. And now we are bringing in the washed catfish, placing it in such a way that this wouldn't scatter in the soup. Remember, at Glory Homemaker, we give you value for your time. And I'll cover this for about 5 minutes, and this is after 5 minutes. Let's stir this. I'm stirring it gently. Observe how I'm stirring it so that this fish wouldn't scatter. There are other versions of Nsala soup where the fish will actually be the thickener, where the fish will pieces completely inside the soup. But for today's recipe, I want to serve the fish whole. You keep stirring this from time to time so that this doesn't burn underneath. And here I came in with fresh utazi leaves. These leaves add a sweet bitter taste to the soup. Remember that the yam is already sweet, so adding this bitter leaf will kind of equalize the taste of the soup. It's totally optional, but I always prefer using it to finish off this recipe. We've built up lots of amazing local flavors for this soup. Now we're going to check for the salt and seasoning to know if we need to adjust anything. I always say that your seasoning and your salt should be proportional to the quantity of food you're cooking. If you're not sure, you add in little per time and adjust as you cook along. Mine came out perfect, and this will be the final stir, and our Nsala soup is ready. Take a look at this goodness, this deliciousness. We are going to serve this. You can eat this with pounded yam, with semo, with eba, whatever swallow that appeals to you. You can also lick the soup. Some have it as pepper soup. It's totally up to you. And here is our Nsala soup. I hope you learned a thing or more from this video. This is one of our signature soups in Anambra State, and it's so delicious. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.